talk about the game, I'm like, yeah, I'm learning a lot
awesome.
here.
It's so great for sure. Like the constant. I'm like learning new things from everyone
100%.
here every day.
We are going to go into game at number 1 pretty quickly, though. Neirea on the Rogue and HotMEOWTH on the Paladin. And just so, I will just remind people, even though they probably already know, this is now best of 7, as we are in the top 8. So every player submitted a 5th deck that they weren't allowed to play unless they got to the last day. And HotMEOWTH's Paladin is that 5th deck. So Neirea hasn't seen this list, hasn't come up against it before, so he doesn't exactly know what it is, although I imagine the second a Murloc hits the board, the list becomes pretty clear-cut.
Well, I was seeing HotMEOWTH playing this exact Paladin deck downstairs. He was like jamming games in top 20 Legend with it. So maybe
Just giving it away.
Maybe other players could have seen it. But HotMEOWTH, talking about that, he was playing in top 100, top 50, top 20 Legend all weekend with his tournament decks. And that's pretty impressive because usually you build your tournament decks with a ban in mind, and on ladder you don't have a ban. So you expect your decks to perform worse on ladder, but you still just want to get the games in to see how it flows. And yeah, he was doing really, really well with the Paladin.
How do you think this matchup goes, Nicolina? Like the Paladin is very aggressive. I feel like the 4-mana recruit card called 2 Arms, I'm going to guess, is actually just insane because although a lot of the Murlocs have battle cries, it actually often just fills up the board, right? It's insane.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Call to Arms is a huge swing if you play it on turn 4, and obviously HotMEOWTH already has it in his opening hand, so he's definitely looking forward to that. But not only that, he has several 2-drops, and he doesn't have to wait to the Call to Arms to get the board. But also, Neirea, his board is pretty strong right now already by turn 2, so it's going to be a little tough for HotMEOWTH to keep up with this if Neirea can continue to apply pressure, as he does seem to be doing right here with the South Sea Captain. Yeah, I think normally, it can go either way, you know? Rogue has the tools to just rush down the Paladin, but, you know, it can happen either way.
Yeah, it's definitely just one of those scramble for the board in terms of the 2 aggro decks. Neirea is looking pretty good now, though.
I like that decision to trade the Pirate instead of the 2-1 there as well, because if HotMEOWTH does, for example, had the weapon and used it to kill the captain, the Pirate would lose 1 attack. So I think it's a good trade there. But yeah, here comes Call to Arms. See, that was from nothing to this, so it's really good.
Yeah, it was also definitely good to keep the backstab because you're on a Minstrel on 4.
Oh, Minstrel's so good.
It's so good. I love it in the deck. It gives Rogue some longevity, like some staying power to get through those like tough middle turns of the game when it often struggles, middle to end turns.
Is this just already too late for HotMEOWTH?
I think it might be.
Juggler is pretty good, but you need some mana to go with the Juggler to do the board clear.
Yeah. Noble Sack is pretty good with Juggler too.
Yeah, Noble Sack Juggler, but then you can only play a Hero Power.
Right. No, not this turn.
Yeah. Can he survive more though? That's the question.
Right.
Yeah, it might just be a little bit too quick.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he was intending to wait a turn so he could get more use out of the Juggler maybe, but it doesn't look too good here.
Yeah, and the problem is as well, for both players have Corridor Creeper, but the problem here is HotMEOWTH has it just maybe just too not early enough, should I say, because even these trades aren't really going to make a massive impact. 2 more means dies, so it'll become 2 mana next turn, so HotMEOWTH like can get it down, but as you said, Radu, like is it just too late at this point? Because it's not as if Neirea is, you know, short on gas at all in this game now, mainly because of that Minstrel.
Yeah, that was so good. And I think it used to be the case that most aggro decks had a very good matchup against Rogue, right? And it was kind of like, oh, you want to beat Rogue, you play aggro. But now Rogue just has such a strong early game, and it can easily keep up with the aggro decks, so it's not as reliable of a matchup as it was before.
This is kind of scary.
Yeah, I feel like now, other than Warlock, there's no real clear-cut counter to Rogue.
I agree.
But Warlock does it, for sure.
Yeah, but also, I mean, Spellbreaker's pretty good in that.
Yeah, Rogue is going to start playing Spellbreakers instead of Siren.
I think a lot of decks are going to start playing Spellbreaker pretty quick.
And Spellbreaker's such a good counter that it really kind of kills the effectiveness of the Warlock deck.
Well,
way, right?
what if the Warlock starts playing with 2 Dark Pacts, and then they wait with the Lucky to Dark Pact it, but then maybe the decks become more aggressive, and they will kill them before turn 6?
They're definitely going to have to adapt, because I think that people are going to be onto it now.
Yeah.
It worked really well for this tournament. But yeah, now it's everywhere.
Yeah, it's always a constant thing in card games to try to always predict what your opponents are going to bring and bring something that counters that.
Yeah, I just played Warlock against Priest about 10 minutes ago and played Lackey on 5. Really needed it to go off. They played Raza, healed. I was like, you know, fine, not great, but okay. Silence. I was like, oh, well, I just played a 5-mana 2/2 and they're playing Raza. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll lose this one.
I was expecting you to say that you get like a super big board and then they just play the Psychic Scream.
They actually Shadow Vision screamed my 2 Void Lords, and then I built the board up again, and then they drew their actual scream and did it again. I was like, screw you, Priest.
Yeah. I think, yeah, that's why that deck is not quite as good on ladder, right? Because in tournaments, you can always ban Priest, and you don't have to deal with that silence and Psychic
Let's see.
Scream.
I'm going to reveal hidden information here. Some of these... wait, hang on. Yeah, that's fine. Did see people playing the Darkness in the Warlock deck now, just to try, on ladder, just to try and beat up Priest. I will say though, going back now, just let's reverse a little bit into this game. Spiteful.
Yeah, we're playing a game.
We were just talking about the intricacies of ladder and how it works, whereas HotMEOWTH just ripped a Primordial Drake off the Spiteful Summoner, so that it definitely was a good pull, but still probably not going to be enough.
Usually, with this kind of effect, you don't want to get Battlecry minions, because if a minion has Battlecry, he's going to have less stats to compensate. But Primordial Drake is like such a powerful minion and has Taunt attached to it that it's not really that bad, but it's not what he wanted. I think something like Alaki would have been insane.
Yeah.
That would be insane.
Well, yeah, Spiteful Summoner, your card that is taking people by surprise. We saw Sixo doing really, really well with a Hunter that plays it. And you can play it in multiple decks. I saw Priest playing it with Free From Amber and Mind Control.
You seen Frozen Zoo?
No.
Yeah.
Does it have Doom?
It's qualified WSG. No, Twisted Nethers.
Oh, Nethers,
yeah,
okay.
no, it's just Zoo, but with Spiteful Summers and Twisted Nethers.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Like, you just play some cards that you never want to play anyway, so draw, just so you can play the 6-mana powerful minion.
Yeah. You play it in Warrior with a Spellstone. Get a 7-mana.
Warrior is pretty bad.
Okay, but like,
you can
just
do
saying,
it.
You could, yeah.
It's in that deck, regardless of how good or not you think that deck is. But
it's kind of crazy, isn't it? That like one card has put in like things like mind control into an aggressive priest list, and you're like, this doesn't make sense.
It's crazy.
But like one card has altered deck building, and almost like, at least for now, the meta this much. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, you see cards like Call of the Wild see play again.
Yeah.
You'd never expect that after the nerf. People are like, this card will never see play again.
And it's always funny though, because the cards always sound dumb. Like, yeah, I'm playing Zoo with Twisted Nethers. And you're like,
yeah, they don't go with
the
archetype, right? It's just, it seems counterintuitive, but somehow it ends up working. And then you're playing against it, and you like don't expect the Nether out of the Zoo, right? So they also kind of like.
It's really weird. I played.
that.
I tried the Priest lists early on with the Amber and Mind Controls. Honestly, and I was sending screenshots to like Sottle and Falcon stuff. Honestly, I was like, 2 draws into the game, I have 2 Mind Controls and a Free for Amber in my hand. I am not built to play these decks. This is just not for me, unfortunately. But swiftly, while we were just chatting again, moving on to game number 2, it's gonna be. Wait, hang on. Is this the Rogue Mirror?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
HotMEOWTH went for the Rogue Mirror.
Yeah.
Me and Neirea were watching HotMEOWTH's games last night. And I think HotMEOWTH drew KLSF every single rogue game.
Oh my gosh.
That's why he went like 3-0, 3-0, 3-1.
I know he pushed Crane out, didn't he?
Yeah. Crane had like a moment with a bit of rage.
A moment.
So I say, I guess if I drew Kelseth on 2 that reliably, I would queue Rogue Mirror as well.
So just to review as well, the HotMEOWTH Priest was banned, so he has Druid, Mage, Rogue left. And yeah, going for the mirror always feels a little bit scary in this format.
And he didn't get the coin, so that always feels bad too, right away in the Rogue Mirror, right? Just gives them the potential for Neirea to make a lot more combos happen.
Yeah, like Minstrel on 3.
Yep.
Oh, and also, I feel like Valspine is the most important card in this mirror, or at least swings the hardest, should I say. And there is coin and there is backstab as well for Neirea along with that Valspine, depending on what he wants to do, of course. But I feel like the hand overall, even though there's Corridor, Creeper, and Sonya, and the backstab for HotMEOWTH, I feel like Neirea is definitely looking really good here.
I think with the Valspine being picked up, it's probably better to just go backstab and play one of your 1-drops now, then coin Valspine next turn and then go 1-drop plus Minstrel on 5. Because like if you go coin Minstrel, you'd also want to use the backstab. But if you do that, you have no activator for Valspine.
And also, you're planning on playing Valspine next turn, so do you need the Minstrel draws? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't necessarily do. Like, Minstrel can wait.
Yeah, because this is really funny as well, because I think if HotMEOWTH played, like, a Firefly it still gets Valspine next turn because you kind of just want the tempo and just want the stuff on board, especially because Neirea has Bone Mare in hand as well. Oh, he's going for the Minstrel though.
But maybe he doesn't use the backstab. That's also a possibility. Okay, he does.
Oh wow.
So
yeah, that's a little questionable. If I agree with what you had said earlier about a potential game plan playing out over the next couple turns. And it seems to lose all the activators in his hand like that. It could be like a little problematic.
Yeah, he went for the instant tempo rather than just planning it out.
Yeah, but like HotMEOWTH just goes backstab. Okay, now I have Serenite Changang to follow it up.
It's actually kind of weird because this turn 4, okay, was weaker than it is now if you want to just drop the SI, but the turn 4 was super weak.
Still like a little awkward.
Yeah.
If he goes into the minion, then HotMEOWTH just maybe trades that into the SI, trades face, and then value trades the Firefly. Still has the board pretty easily.
And also has Corridor Creeper.
Right, Corridor Creeper.
And Neirea's Corridor Creeper he cannot get cost reduced enough, right? So he cannot go Corridor Creeper plus Valspine next turn. So he's gonna be behind, and then by the time he can play Valspine, he's gonna struggle. That's a pretty good combo, right?
Yeah.
Ah, he's not amazing.
You play deckhand as well now?
Yeah, it's only 1-1. Sorry?
Do you play deckhand as well now? You just get the 1-1 deckhand back and play Corridor Creeper?
Probably.
Get the value.
Yeah, I think so, right? I mean,
Why not?
the difference between 1-1 and 2-1 for the deckhand. Deckhand's more of an activator, right, at this point, yeah.
Sonya is an interesting card.
It's so sweet.
It's a win more card in a way, but
But that's good in the mirror.
Yeah, it's good in the it requires you to kill it. Like if you let it live on the board, then it's a disaster. Also has really good synergy with Saronai Chain Gang.
Well, that's the thing. I think in Rogue, especially at the moment, there's, you know, Valspine, Minstrel, even SI, you know, Keleseth, even if you Keleseth on 2, Sonya on 3 and trade Keleseth away, you know, I mean, it happens, right? It's not easy to pull off because most of the time your opponent knows that, hey, you know, Shadow Step can happen with Keleseth or they can use Sonya, but like this card is just a threat in itself. And I actually had this as my #1 card before the expansion release. So obviously, well, before the expansion release, but I thought this card was so good that you just
I think I saw that actually, but I rated the card pretty well too. I think it definitely is really, really nice, and it's working out extremely well for HotMEOWTH right now.
Oh yeah.
So it's changing the game for him actually.
Even these 1-1s, right, from the Saronite, there's no fan of knives unless Swashbuckler makes something happen. So
Right, Rogue has a bit of trouble dealing with a wide board. I don't know if does HotMEOWTH play Scalebane?
I don't know.
HotMEOWTH looks like he's playing Ike's version, and the Ike's version doesn't play Scalebane.
Okay.
When we scouted HotMEOWTH's deck, we were 29 out of 30, and
0.
No Scalebane.
0 Scalebane.
I was gonna say Scalebane would make this board very scary.
Yeah, but the likelihood is that he's not playing it.
Yeah.
Go infinite with the Saronites. You can trade 2 away and get
Forever.
2 more. You've already got
my
1 in
gosh.
hand. I will kill you with an army of 1-1 taunts.
How long can it
It's
go
actually
on?
sick.
He can also go deckhand and just use deckhand and mana to kill
Like
all the
18
board.
times.
He's gonna. He might be doing that.
Oh, I love Sunny. It's such a sick card.
It's really good in Quest Rogue too. Like
He can.
Yeah.
He can like almost chain. He can chain this for so long. Actually.
He could chain
Yeah,
gang
keep
this for
Sonya
so long.
alive there. Yeah.
Hey.
Hey. But,
Pickaxe.
yeah.
How much
Okay,
longer
we
can
got
these
there, we
chain
got
gangs
there.
go on?
yeah.
Pickaxe. There we go.
Stop. But yeah.
Never.
That Sonya's protected back there, and unless Neirea gets another backstab or.
And
like,
we've already seen the 1, right? So it needs to be
Right.
SI or the
or
second
SI,
backstab.
yeah.
He's not gonna be able to get to it.
It's just...
Here comes another one.
It's just an
Here comes another
unbreakable
one.
wall. It's like... Oh
I love it.
my.
I love it. It's great.
A lot of people are not playing it though because it's just like slow if you're
Yeah.
behind. If you're behind, it's unplayable.
Yeah.
But as I said earlier, Nicolana, in like the Rogue Mirror match, you fight for the board. So like there is a high likelihood that at some point during the game you're gonna be okay. So you just play it and start getting value.
Also, as well, you never know what can happen as well, because if you Valspine, and then your Valspine's just on the board, often Valspine isn't like a super high priority target based on, you know, how many Shadow Steps have been played.
Right.
So there might be bigger stuff to kill. And then the second you just like Sonya and then trade the Valspine away and then Valspine again, it's like, well, that just flips the board in your favor. It's so sick.
See, he has a Valspine it. Feels kind of bad, man.
Neirea is just...
Valspine a 2/2.
It feels bad, man, with a pickaxe. He just doesn't want it to carry on.
And HotMEOWTH also draws Keleseth, so Any any minion he draws from here on out is just gonna.
Oh wait, hang on. How nuts would Pharaoh Gibber be with Sonya?
No, stop.
No,
Your hand would just
no.
fill
Just
up.
stop.
he doesn't have charge.
Don't go any farther.
Like, the card is bad because it doesn't have charge.
Well, yeah, but once you've copied it once or twice, Radu, come on.
You know there is a card called Stone Toss Boar. That's pretty good with Sonya.
It's not as funny as Pharaoh Gibber, though. It duplicates itself twice.
But seriously, talking about Sonya a bit more, she single-handedly probably made Quest Rogue decent. Like, I saw people
Sure.
hitting top 10 Legend with it.
Wow.
Wait, that's little.
And that's the end.
Ah, it's only the game,
Okay.
it's fine. But yeah, HotMEOWTH does even it up off the back of Sonya, basically.
Sonya, yeah.
Just gets the work done.
Solely carried the entire game by alone.
Wait, what? Oh, I like Neirea's shirt. Put this apple on your head.
Is that what it says?
Yeah, it's the knife juggler.
I'm at a bad angle to look at the screen. I can see it over there.
Hey, we can actually just look at Neirea. It's
Yeah, he's
literally
right there.
sat in front of us.
Right there.
You know what I would be curious about? To see like some stats of crafting. How many people are going to craft Sonya after watching this game of Hearthstone?
Oh, I'd love stuff like that, yeah.
That would,
How many people crafted Corridor Creeper after Trinity?
I think a lot.
Oh, I had to. I had to craft so many epics this
I
expansion.
was gonna say we probably just pulled some corridor creepers. I think I just opened mine.
Lucky you. I had to spend so much dust. I had to craft 2 to my sides. I had to craft 2
You
corridor
had to
creepers
craft that.
Yeah, you had to.
It's
It was like
essential.
mandatory for the meme game.
for the Hunter game.
Oh wow.
Was there any Shaman epic that you had to craft?
Yeah. It
Ah,
was
the new one, the evolution, right?
Yeah.
Unstable evolution.
Yeah. And there isn't the, hang on, what am I thinking? I'm sure I didn't have something. I can't remember.
So Neirea is going to queue his Warlock into HotMEOWTH's Rogue now, which I think is a good choice.
Yeah, and we saw HotMEOWTH keeping the Minstrel, which I also like with the hand with Edwin and one Firefly.
Coin Valspine available again, obviously a little bit later on. And the coin can be used for all these 4 drops or Edwin, but
Yeah, I like
this-
it for the Minstrel a bit because he's going to really need to keep up the pressure, and obviously the Warlock has infinite card draw, so any more pressure, any more card draw that HotMEOWTH can get is going to keep him in the game. Otherwise, he's going to fall behind, have an empty hand, and he doesn't want that.
yeah. Neirea's opening hand wasn't great, to be honest.
Yeah.
File's good, but then Siphon Soul Twisting, very slow. But now Coil into the Spellstone is actually, you know, it's starting to be the tools you need to just stave off the aggression here. And now, if he draws Sonya in a few turns, he can keep trading away patches. But for
Okay.
now, it's just going to be Van.
He's going to go with the Edwin here. Patches is still an activator, so but he's going to have to, if he doesn't pick up another one, he might have to choose between the Minstrel or keeping it for the Bowspine. But it's worth it to get the pressure of the 6/6.
Yeah, I think you can go for Patches Minstrel on 5, and then like
Yeah.
Minstrel is very likely going to give you something that can combo with Vilespine
Yeah.
later on.
That's true.
It's pretty good curve for HotMEOWTH.
This is pretty interesting as well now because of that Spellstone putting Van Cleef to 3. It might make HotMEOWTH, yeah, I think that's what he's thinking about now. He's like, so Hellfire, huh?
Hellfire, Defile, Coil, which is the one he happens to have, but yeah,
It's
it's
just
going to make Neirea able to clear it next turn.
Yeah, and Saronite Chain Gang like gets blown out by this.
Yes.
So he has to really consider whether he even wants to try and do it, whether he wants to just dagger up into like just pass basically this turn. Bit of a tough call.
He might have enough board presence to like, I mean, Neirea still already has to deal with this Edwin again next turn. So if he does have Hellfire, I think it's better not to play the minion into it. Okay.
That's just gonna come in.
This is going to go be like, okay.
By playing it, you can go Patches Minstrel next turn, and then you can reduce Corridor Creeper to 1 health if all your 6 minions die. To 1 mana, sorry. And then you can go for Corridor Creeper and then Vilespine on 6 and then Bomber on 7.
Yeah.
And that's
That
gonna
could
be the
work.
game,
It
everyone.
could
So
work.
we're done. Yeah, Radu's just told us how the game play out.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
No, but like when you're playing
Could
this
work.
kind of tempo rogue, you always want to calculate 2-3 turns in advance
of
and
course.
map out the best possible way to play out your hand.
I think sometimes, though, it's like kind of good to force the Warlock into using clear on a suboptimal board. So, like, what was he going to put another Spellstone into the Edwin, and that would have been fine for HotMEOWTH. Or if he played the Hellfire, that's also fine.
This is still kind of awkward, right? Because it has to be double coil,
Yeah.
which is you know, the board's clear, but it's kind of a win for HotMEOWTH. You know, if he was going to get his board cleared, This is the most awkward way to do it here for Neirea. He gets no draws from these coils, so that's pretty huge. And he's just spent his whole turn clearing. So now, as you said, Radu, HotMEOWTH can be like, right, okay, well now I have a relatively cheap creeper, and then you can go into that minstrel play, which I think we are going to see here. Not too bad for HotMEOWTH here, and he gets, you know, the nice 1 damage from patches.
Yeah, very good utilization of resources from HotMEOWTH.
And he gets another minstrel, so we can keep it going.
Which I think is the 30th card. So there's no how's it called? Scalebane.
Right, yeah. It would be where it's like the 1 Scalebane, and you're like, what?
I mean, it might work, but usually you want to play 2 of it to draw 1. Ooh, Stifle Solo Minstrel.
If he's banning Priest, if HotMEOWTH bans Priest, I don't mind not including the Scalebane because I think it's just mostly just good in that matchup.
Yeah.
You just like worm into Saronite here. It's going into 7 kind of wants a lot of targets, and there's nothing that really clears them both, especially you've seen 1 Spellstone, you've seen the double coil Defile as well. Hellfire doesn't get there. It would have to be like, what, Hellfire and additional removal to completely whiff on Bone Mare.
I like this, what he's going to do with the Minstrel. Just might as well load up his hand with multiple options for the following turns.
Well, yeah, if you want to apply logic to things, then fine.
Happy to help.
Yeah, that's not very nice.
You pick the Homunculus and play it now? You basically want to commit to Twisting Nethering on 8, so
Right.
you might not even tap, I don't know.
Well, if that's the commit, do you take the Geomancer?
Wow.
Just for the troll potential.
Oh.
Neirea agrees.
I mean, you don't take damage. Maybe it's better because you can afford to tap.
Yeah.
And yeah, otherwise you'd be taking 4 damage this turn. You might not want to do that. Yeah, and the extra attack doesn't matter, right? Because
Do you just Dark Pact
that was
here?
BS.
I think so.
Well, look at your next like million turns, right? You've got double Twist and double Void Lord. I think you take the health now, go back up to full health, and say, you know what, turn worked out pretty okay in the end.
Yeah, because if you're going to Dark Pact anything at this point, it's going to be that 2-1. Right?
Yeah,
You don't
exactly,
wanna
yeah.
Dark Pact your own taunt or something.
Hey, so I'm going to wait for turn 10 and do the Void Lord Dark Pact play. I think this is going to really help.
Perfect.
Now HotMEOWTH knows exactly what Neirea is going to do next turn, Twisting Nether. So what's the best way to counteract that? You definitely don't want to commit the Bone Mare. You want to set up little with Leroy Shadow Step, but without committing much. Is there any way of doing that?
Is that?
I was going to go for the
Oh,
Bone Mare,
oh.
but I don't know. Kalistats might have been a good choice just to make the rest of the draws for the game that much stronger.
It's a tough one, right? Because initially I was looking at, say, like Kaliseth, Valspine. You can go face for 5 and then Shadow Step the Valspine. So you've still got it to get through one of the Void Lords. But the problem is that uses the Shadow Step, which then reduces your damage later on. But you did just push 5 damage then. So it gets, like, really tricky to work out exactly what you need to do.
Yeah. One way or another, I think playing Kaliseth was a bit better. I don't know.
I think so.
'Cause
But
this way you just commit too much into the Nether.
yeah. I mean, like, of course, he can never know that he has it, but it is turn 8, and he does have these cards that have been sitting in his hand for a long time, so you gotta imagine there's something along those lines of...
Especially the far left one, right? Was in the opening.
Yeah,
It's still
I
not
believe it
played, so
was.
it's like
Yeah.
Gul'dan, a Void Lord, or a Nether.
Exactly.
And the Dark Pact was pretty kind of saying that, hey, I don't care about my board, I just care about
Yeah.
my curve and health.
Yeah.
And, like, there's no way that that taunt that was played was the best choice, right?
Yeah, also that. It was clearly like a setup.
Kaliseth does come down now, though. This is before the... sorry, after the deckhand was drawn, though, so...
Look, for example, like if he Kaliseth last turn, I know it's in hindsight, but he could go deck and Bone Mare. And then if it does like so good against the Void Lord because you can deal a lot of damage by killing the Void Lord with Vilespine the turn after.
Also, as well, there's always like the fear of Bone Mare as well, because now Neirea's like, oh, well, now there's only 1 Bone Mare left. So, you know, that all comes into the damage calculations, you know, if the game gets to that point where it's like, okay, how much damage can I possibly take over 2 turns? Just reduces the odds down just a little bit.
The Vilespine is still pretty good here.
Shadow Step on the Valspine.
Yeah, you want to take it back probably to...
I think I like this because if you never get in through the taunts easily, then it doesn't matter if you have Leroy Shadow Step, right? If
Right.
taunts are just going to be in the way. Just snap removing a minion, especially because it's so cheap now, it's only 3 mana, is actually super nice.
And HotMEOWTH's getting through this Void Lord, but little does he know, the second one is on its way. Oh, this is
Ooh.
probably just better, actually.
That's a good one.
You know what? I'm going to have to go ahead and say that's better.
Yeah.
This Lackey's just a dead card, though.
I know it feels bad that he can't play the Lackey and then the Hellfire and pull the Void Lord.
Well,
out
that
there.
would have been just
That would
obnoxious.
have been too good. Okay.
He's gonna tap
Still
though.
Stonehill, though.
You go Stonehill and find your third Void Lord. That's the play.
Yeah, that is the bad part about Lackey, though.
Yeah.
It's completely dead now.
Yeah, easy. Third Void Lord.
And it's like,
Oh, what? Is this what?
replay? Is this why Radu just
What?
knows exactly what's going to happen?
No, but like, as we know, class cards have a higher chance of being discovered by
Yeah, it's weighted,
Stonehill.
yeah.
So like, I like how Stonehill was played and then wasn't played and now he's played again. It really depends on how powerful the class stones are. We saw like with Paladin, it was
Okay.
played in every Paladin deck, but then it wasn't because they diluted the pool of minions with Righteous Protector, I think it's called, the 1 mana 1/1.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now in Warlock, they got Reen and they got Void Lord, which are just amazing picks.
It's also going to get more insane come next expansion because we're basically reducing the pool of expansions down by 2. So
Yeah.
there's less cards for it to actually pull from in standard, so it's even more likely that you actually see these come out. So it's actually going to get even more insane later on.
Also, patches rotates out with the next expansion, so control decks might be better. But that's impossible to predict. Like, you never know. Maybe they print another early game powerful card, and then Stonehill is gonna be weaker.
It's Patch's cousin. It's the same card, but it's a 5 mana. Still play it. Another Shadow Step. Not the best follow-up, though.
You don't have a way to combo your Valspine. Do you ever go Leroy? No. It's too much, right?
Mm,
You never go full Leroy.
Never go full Leroy.
I guess you could like Leroy, Valspine, trade. But the problem is that you just can't. You leave him with only a 1/3 and 2 1/1s, and you could Shadow Step the Leroy back. No, that seems pointless.
Just mash him.
Okay.
I think it's just mash him for 6, right?
Interesting.
It seems like the best way to activate the Valspine.
I mean, he can't. You don't get to hit him for 6. So.
Yeah, you could backstab. Not going to, but
Interesting.
you couldn't.
This
Yeah,
play
but-
is actually probably the best because you just basically get 18 damage out of Leroy if Leroy sticks. You're in a tough spot.
Yeah, because you can hit Shadow
Yeah,
Step hit.
hit
yeah.
again and then Shadow Step in.
And you've
replay.
seen both coils and a defile and
Yeah.
a hellfire and a twist in there. That, you know,
Yeah. I
there's
really
so
like
much
this play.
removal left.
I really like this play from HotMEOWTH. Just basically
Yeah.
an all-in from a hand that probably most players would just concede with. And
Yeah.
now he has like a very low chance, like 1-5%, I don't know, but
It's a
still
chance.
it's better than 0,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Right, he's playing to his house.
Yeah, that's very
I
important.
like it. Void Lord number 3. Do
But
it again, Meowth. Do it again.
Unfortunately, I don't think it's not gonna be in that fear.
It's actually legitimately pretty scary, though, because, you know, yes, there's the twisting, but the Void Lord number 3 shouldn't be there, you know, in a general
he
sense.
thinks he's done with both of them, but
Yeah.
either way, there's Gul'dan, so he knows they're coming back sometime.
Yeah.
Just doesn't know when.
Now he's like, okay, 16 more dagger swings. I got this. Easy game. And now Neirea can probably just close his eyes, pick some cards that are playable, drop them on the board, and say, yeah, next game.
Just go
Yeah.
lucky.
But you've seen Leroy, right? That's the only thing you're really ever afraid of at this point. You know, your opponent's on 2 cards, and there's the GG. The I give up more realistically. Neirea taking the win with the Warlock now.
That works.
Here comes the Jade Druid to try and take this Warlock down. And if this is anything to go by the other matchup I've seen this play out, we may as well get comfortable, guys.
Okay.
It's so funny because I mean, you gotta think that Jade Druid wins a lot of the time, but they still, of course, they're gonna play it out.
Yeah.
Even
Warlock.
to the very, very end of the like 2020 Jades.
Yeah, at minimum, Warlock struggles till the very end. But I actually think, I don't know, I mean, I've seen Neirea take this matchup before as the Warlock, and I'll be honest, I've not played enough current Jade Druid to have good knowledge of the matchup outside of what I've seen in this tournament. But I think it's really close.
Yeah, when me, Neirea, and Thais were practicing for SeatStory, we practiced this matchup, and we concluded that the matchup is pretty good. You don't even need to play Skulking Geist. Like, it's not just not worth it for how little Jade Druids we were expecting to face. We are like, we win like 45, 50% of the time without playing Skulking Geist just because you apply pressure, and then no matter how they use their cards, no matter how much they cycle the Jade Idols, they're always going to be in a spot where they can play only one Jade per turn. And if you get into that spot, you win the game.
I mean, it depends on if they've used Nourish or not, if they keep it Nourish to the end. So there's definitely still ways to draw one Jade.
It's very hard to survive the Warlock pressure while keeping both your Nourishes and your UIs for like later. And even if you keep your UI, like let's say you go UI or you go Nourish, you have a powerful turn, but the next turn you can still go back to playing one Jade per turn. So you basically, as the Warlock, will need to be able to have an answer to that one powerful spike Jade turn, and then you just can handle the one Jade per turn.
Yeah, especially because Jade Druid doesn't really have a way to even closely get through the Void Lords that in a nice way. You know, you can have a 20/20 Jade, it's still awkward as hell to get through a Void Lord and then 1/3 taunts that it leaves behind.
Yeah, I think, but if the Druid is careful enough, they can pretty much make a way where they never lose.
Sure. It's definitely not an easy matchup, and like I say, even I cast Dr. J yesterday, and that went on for just a long time, so that was kind of fatiguing on the players as well as in game. But yeah, that was kind of nuts. And
so does Neirea play like Despicable? Is it Despicable Dreadlord, the 4/5?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does he play that? Because
no.
I mean, that's a lot of pressure for the Druid too. But like these small minions are really not.
He plays Unzoth, though. So if you go Gul'dan into Unzoth, you can get 2 big boards that apply a lot of pressure. And then if you can time your Twisting Nethers efficiently, and then also get some value out of your Defiles, I think you can actually get there and apply enough pressure to put the Jade Druid in a rough spot. I don't know. I think it's a very close matchup. More close than people think. Like people just...
Yeah, I can see that. No, there's definitely... yeah, what you're saying about a really specific game plan is important. You have to know exactly how to approach the matchup, and you have to have a goal in mind and make sure you execute it.
How long are these Nosferatus being held? Because I know, you know, the idea of not playing a Jade Idol, and if... Hang on. This list plays Ring, or it doesn't play Ring?
It doesn't.
It doesn't. Okay. This changes everything then. Just because we saw Jay do the whole hold on to a Jade Idol, so it
That's
doesn't.
That's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah, so it doesn't get rinned, and then cycle the Rin, but then Nosferatu can then burn one of the Jade Idols, which makes it more awkward.
That's
but
what
without that, oh well. Speaking of burning a Jade Idol, it did just happen there. So there's
4
one.
in there,
But yeah, that's
4 of them in there. I don't think it's really.
The optimal way we found out to play with Nosferatu was before people know that we have Nosferatu in our deck, we can keep it and surprise them.
Sure.
But once they do, you just play it for tempo and you hope you just mill a good card.
Yeah, it's more of a surprise tech, as opposed to just the best card.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's if it's an optimal card to play, but we figured out that it's just faster than Rain. And a lot of times when you play Rain in the mirror matchup, let's say, you just kill 2 or 3 cards from your opponent, so you might as well play Nosferatu for doing that, and you can also have Nosferatu on curve against aggro decks.
Sure.
But maybe still Rain is better.
I like Plated Beetle myself. That card's sweet. But I am playing it in Q block, so it's slightly different. There's an Azoth.
Yeah, usually you want Azoth after Gul'dan, because you get 4 Void Lords, but I'm not sure if that's going to be possible.
Yeah.
Or at least at 10 mana.
This is already, like, it looks pretty tough.
Yeah, it looks very tough because he drew both Void Lords.
Yeah.
No Lake yet, so now, same as last game, whenever Lake is drawn, he's just like a 5 mana 2/2.
Oh my gosh.
That's the thing, like, if you play 2 and 2, you risk it, but you can also get very rewarded by 100% pulling the Void Lord out of your deck.
Yeah, definitely. But I think that the possessed lackey is just gonna end up getting worse over time. It gets so much worse over time with silence too.
Yeah.
Like you don't even have to silence the Void Lord. I guess like you could silence that. But
I think we'll just see, depending on how the decks develop, we'll just see more and more turn 6 Lackey with Dark Pact, just to guarantee some kind of pull.
Yeah, that's the version mine went like all in on that one. But Meowth's Jades are getting a lot bigger. Like he's developing them a lot, and now he's going into UI. So his deck is working very well.
Yeah, just one of those regular Druid games where you're on
turn
6
6,
mana
yeah.
and your opponent's on 10. Seems good.
The G Druid is following the game plan.
Yeah. Cheat.
Still, there's gonna be a lot more turns from now on. Okay, that's one useless card.
Play it.
I mean, you can get it back with Nzoff, so it's still, you get...
It's potentially 2 extra damage. Maybe that's lethal. You never know.
I mean, you want to maximize everything you can. And this is also pretty good in this matchup if you have time to play everything. If you have time to play your Void Lords and then your Gul'dan and then your Nzoff and then your Elise and then do your Elise back, then it's pretty good.
Also, if you Elise into Elise, they're the good packs.
Yeah, go infinite on the Elise packs. Is there any freeze in Angoro that you can get and go like Elise and draw back, play back?
Yeah, the 2-1 Elemental.
Yeah. I actually get that a lot.
Okay.
I love when you open a pack and you get elemental synergy
Oh yeah, they're
from
the best.
Angora.
I've had Firefly 2 Kalimos before.
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
Oh yeah, Kalimos is an AoE,
Yeah.
but not good against Jades.
it
Not quite
tickles
enough.
the Jades more than anything.
Yeah.
It can summon a lot of very cute 1/1s though. I think that's definitely important to
Yeah, so-
consider.
The Jades are still young, so Neirea is gonna try to kill them with Hellfire at first, and then Twisting Nether once HotMEOWTH commits more. Now HotMEOWTH needs to just apply enough pressure to make Neirea want to clear the board, but not enough to just lose if he's faced with Twisting Nether.
Yeah, he can't really go all in at any point.
Yeah, he needs to always have a backup. So it's very important to memorize exactly how many Jade Idols he have left.
Yeah.
He also saw both Non-Ferratus, so now it's just a math game.
Can get difficult though, because when Jay played the series yesterday, afterwards there was 2 cards left. We were like, well, one has to be an idol, right? Because he just played the Jades out, and it ended up being Maya Keeper and UI. And he even said, look, you know, he actually just slipped up and forgot that he had 1 less Jade Idol than he thought in the deck. And in a very long game, you know, maybe if note taking's not on point or you're just, you know, tired anyway, you forget that once, and then that can actually mess up quite a lot for you.
I mean, yeah, that's definitely a crucial fact to know whether or not
Oh,
you
yeah,
have
yeah.
a second
We were
Jade
so
Idol
convinced as
in
well.
your deck.
And then like Maya Keeper plopped out, and we were like, oh well, this isn't good.
That feels very bad. But yeah, this is just getting harder and harder to clear for Neirea with every turn. I mean, it doesn't need to clear it, but
Yeah, it's important that he had time to play both Void Lords
Yeah.
without his health being pressured. Now he needs Gul'dan into Nzoff.
yeah.
If not, Nzoff into Gul'dan will do. Branching Paths is surprisingly good in my opinion in Jade Druid. It allows you to cycle the Jade Idol and then draw it and then play it.
It's so good. I love that card. It was definitely one of the cards I thought was pretty good going into this set. And then everyone was like, oh, didn't really like it that much, or wasn't immediately putting it in their Druid. And I was like,
Yeah,
well,
I thought it's
think
unplayable.
The card is pretty good.
Unplayable.
But it's, all of the options are just so good. The mana cost is reasonable. So I like it because it's adaptable to different scenarios.
Yeah. I just like the option where you kill them with it.
Yeah.
It's actually ridiculous.
It's a savage roar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
then you just play 2, and guess what? Choose plus attack 4 times and kill them. Easy.
Yeah, that's
No,
pretty good.
It's a good card.
I was calculating that no matter what option you go for, you overpay. But I didn't consider the fact that you don't mind overpaying in like turn 25 in a Jade Druid game if your
Sure.
Jade Idol is like 1 mana 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a similar vein where you don't mind overpaying if you lethal them that turn. as
Yeah.
well. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, God, I don't feel good about paying extra for this,
I know.
even though it does win me the game. So
Yeah.
I'm still a little bit upset.
I won't get to carry the mana to the next game.
Can I start on 2 mana, please? I did play Branching Paths, and one of the paths was I get to start on 2 mana next turn. This is a problem, though, because even with N'Zoth, as long as the board is a reasonable size for HotMEOWTH, I feel like twisting Nether timing is very, very difficult. Because if you twist in Nether and then want to go down on N'Zoth, well, then your opponent just builds some massive Jades again, and you're right back to where you were, except the Jades are bigger. So.
He's gonna Hellfire play the taunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
I like
super
this.
good.
Yeah. He held on to the Hellfire for so long, but it was worth it in the end.
Ooh.
Because all those minions were being traded into the taunts, and it weakened them.
You can kind of make a
Void
piece of a
Walker.
Void Lord.
Oh.
Hey, there we go.
Oh, he doesn't play.
Yeah, I thought he would play it.
Just a quick deck check.
Interesting.
Boop. 7 cards left for Neirea. A casual 10.
Now the game begins. We're gonna see Gul'dan, we're gonna see Nzoth, we're gonna see a lot of big Jades.
You excited?
Yeah, very.
That's a second Nourish, so I think he has stacking so many Jades in his hand right now that it's probably gonna be fine.
Yeah, you also don't need to keep the nourishes for
Yeah,
later because you have
like
you
we were
have
just
time to
talking
have.
about. Yeah, exactly.
These are some big Jades. They've evolved from the young Jades.
Why didn't
Now there are some big
okay,
green men.
something's bothering me.
Tell us.
Why didn't Neirea play the Void Lord or the Void guy, the 1 mana
Voidwalker.
Void Walker?
Playing around Spreading Plague.
No.
Because that was a 6/2, and I mean if he
I don't
trades
think
here, he could have traded the Void Walker and then played Gul'dan.
I don't think he wants to dilute the pool. He wants to Gul'dan and he wants to make sure he gets 2 Void
It's just
Lords.
such an easy trade though.
So until now, 2 Void Lords died and 6 Void Walkers died. So why would you want 2 Void Lords and 7 Void Walkers? You just want to
It's
hit
only
it.
one more though, so it's not like that much more. Of a
Only
trade.
one more is only one less Void Lord, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, like
Sure.
you decrease the chance.
Oh, hang on.
But
Let's
then
just.
like he gets this free 6 damage.
Can we just appreciate the symmetry of this summon?
I'm just not sure.
No?
I see,
On my
I see
own?
it though.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Being ignored.
the Voidwalker.
It's
you would-
lovely. It's beautiful.
You would start the turn by
great.
trading the Voidwalker anyways, right?
Yeah.
So then
And
you just
then-
like dilute the pool and you don't protect any more extra damage. But you get to kill the 6th one, maybe.
Yeah,
in some
that's why I'm
circumstances.
saying like that's like a free kill, right? And when is he playing the Void Lord after this?
But then you make your options. I cannot calculate how many permutations
Because
there are.
that 3/9 took 6 damage that could have just not been there.
Yes, but like the question
Took
is,
6 damage that could have just not.
Yeah. And he gets.
he could also not have that 3/9. But like I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Like you have to calculate the percentages and
God.
see like is it worth hindering my demon pool by a little bit so that I have a higher chance of killing his 6-2. Anyways,
It's complicated, very
Yeah.
complicated decisions. So it's understandable either way.
but yeah,
So complicated, our resident experts can't even work it out. I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to be like, yeah, seems good.
I mean, Hearthstone is mostly about playing with percentages and just
Yeah.
calculating those in your mind during the game and
So
trying to go
difficult.
for what's best. Yeah, but you never can be precise.
Yeah. Especially in like this high pressure situation. And I mean, you only have a certain amount of time per turn until the rope comes. So it's a little
Yeah.
hard to make optimal
Yeah,
choices
it's something that
every
does
turn.
amuse me a little bit is when when tournaments are played out and then players, viewers, whoever are discussing turns as to what was the right play. They like spend an hour working it out and they're like, oh yeah, you should have done this then. It's like you just spent an hour
Yeah.
working out
How
what
could-
was the correct
how could
play,
you
and you're like,
have
oh yeah, you should have made this play. It's like in like a minute. It's like what the.
For sure. That is funny. I want to see him open this pack before the game's over, but I'm sure we'll probably get to. It's always fun to see what's in the pack.
Oh, it's why we play the game to open the packs. The actual game itself is just a side part. It's like a mini game. The real game is getting to click on those packs. Although I do wish Spacebar opened all 5, like
Me
revealed all
too.
5 as well. God, opening like a few hundred packs
Why
for the
don't you
expansion.
tell them to put that feature in?
You don't think I've tried?
Come on.
A lot of people think I have a lot of sway over Blizzard Entertainment, and
You
believe it or
don't?
not,
You don't?
I'm gonna surprise everyone. I really don't.
So he can buff these twice and trade into the 1/3 spring.
Oh yeah, sick.
That seems
It's
pretty
just
good.
unfair. Why can you? It's a card that
Wait.
says, "Do you want to Savage Roar or do you want to?"
He's gonna swipe
Arcane
as well,
Intellect?
yeah. So he doesn't have to buff twice. So I like that too.
So he values a card from his deck more than he values swipe.
Yeah. Also, okay.
Kill those Voidwalkers.
Swipe is also like some nice burst to the face for the end of the game for Jade Druid too, but
I
works
think
out both.
I think a 20-20 hitting the face is pretty good.
Pretty good burst, yeah.
It's good
Works
enough.
out, yeah.
Okay, it's good enough.
Like, but swipe is good.
Swipe is
natural
good.
mistake. Wait,
Swipe is good. Jades are good. Taunts are good.
did we spot the natural mistake then? Meowth just emoted oops, and actually didn't see why.
Maybe he did just to confuse you.
I mean, that is some mind games going on there. He's like, somehow if I can confuse Raven, maybe Raven somehow confuses Neirea.
I'm not gonna lie, I missed it.
I mean, we all missed it. I don't.
Yeah.
So hang on. Let's rewind time.
Can
God,
we
I
do
was-
that?
Can you like
Can we
pause the
please do
match?
that?
Can you pause the match and go ask him?
Yeah.
Be like,
Yeah,
hey,
okay, one second. I actually had to run into Bunny Hopper's game the last match I cast as well.
really?
Yeah, because we had to respec and he was on busy, so we couldn't ask him to accept the spec.
Uh-huh.
So I was like,
Yeah.
guys, just don't talk about the game for a minute. I'm about to open the soundproof door. Like, open the door. I was like, hey, Bunny, do you mind accepting the spec? He's like, yeah, no problem. And then ran back to the headset back on.
Good
so,
story.
so the thanks. Cool story, Bob. So the trade was this, and then he made this, and then he right-clicked here and pressed oops.
Yeah, he should have just swiped face probably.
Yeah. Because he was gonna trade into that anyways.
yeah.
Like, that's it.
Yeah,
We did it
I solved
Well,
it.
with our
I did
powers
it.
combined.
I did it. Raven.
Yeah, he did it. Let's not
Wow.
take credit for that.
Team player Radu over here. Jeez.
No.
Okay, you
Credit
did
where
it,
credit's
Raven.
due.
We did it.
We.
We.
We're a team.
Yes.
We're all on the same
Okay.
couch.
All right.
Okay, well, this is a pretty big jade. But also, there's still... Now we need to almost, like, start counting up resources that are left, right? Because Neirea still has a
Ooh,
Twister and still has the
that
Hellfire and the
is
Spellstone.
So spicy.
And approximately 1,000 Void Lords.
You don't get that maximum value from Void Lords, but they're still 3/9 minions.
Yeah.
And now, Neirea can start being the aggressor until he draws the pack.
The face.
As I said, like this spot is pretty often occurring. Like you don't even need Skulking Geist. Okay, obviously Skulking Geist would probably help.
It
Quite
would
a
probably
bit.
win the matchup pretty decidedly.
Yeah. I mean, it depends. Then the Druid could be more aggressive, more liberal with using the Jade Idols earlier on. Just trying to close it out. But it's surprisingly hard for Jade Druid to go for so many 3/9s.
Is that a surprise? It's mainly
Yeah.
the 3/9s with the army of 1/3s that are super awkward. Hellfire is going to be nice for some extra burst as well for Neirea.
Getting one Void Walker, like you said, out of each 3/9 is kind of sad, but it really kind of nerfs the effectiveness.
I suppose it's only sad because, like, the issue is you have too many 3/9s on the board.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of those, like, it's sad, but okay.
Yeah, but then if you can manage to trade out the Mistresses and the Void Walkers that spawn, then
He
it's
needs
insane.
to get rid of those mistresses. Those are
If you're playing this
taking up
off
space.
and your opponent can't kill 1 3/9 on the board, then against Jade Druid, you're in a pretty good spot. I'm going to start to trade away these.
There they go,
cards
yeah.
now,
Get rid of those.
Yeah.
He
Make
doesn't
space.
need the health anymore, so.
I think by the time HotMEOWTH is going to deal with this board, he's going to have Jade's big enough to one-shot Neirea.
Yeah.
Is he going to have enough
They
time?
only go to 30-30, right?
He has some time. I don't know if he has enough time.
Did they only go to 30-30?
Yes.
Yeah, but I think he has summoned multiple 30-30s.
Do they keep making
No, but I thought you meant like one.
Oh yeah, no.
I mean, if he keeps the swipe the whole time, he can 30 and then
swipe to the face, you know?
Good work.
We called this early on.
Got him.
Swipes to the face are really good.
Yeah, that's.
But here is the spot I was telling you about. The spot where you can only play one Jade Idol per turn.
He is. He got himself there, and I'm not really sure how though.
It always goes there. Here.
There's a way you can finagle it so you.
Excuse me, there's a way you can what?
Save it. Finagle?
Fanangle.
Yeah. Do you not have that word?
If even the native speaker whose job is knowing words.
Well, there's a very big difference
You
between
know the word, right?
native
I don't know.
British speaker
Oh, okay.
and Americans who make words up.
I have no idea. Like if Raven doesn't know, I have no
Oh,
idea.
yeah, right. Fandangle.
I'm here praying it's actually a word because I'm pretty sure.
Was it fandangle?
No. Finagle.
Oh, sorry.
It might be slang or like a colloquialism.
Fanangle.
Yeah.
Right, Google. There's finangle.
Yeah.
Well, you can't just say yes.
Finagle.
You said
Finangle.
fanangle.
No, you said that with your accent.
And you said yes. I said that with my accent. Okay, I'm going fanangle.
You said Nicolena
To
too.
manipulate moving parts in a way too complex to aptly describe with words. It's a word to use when you can't use words to describe it. That is just cheating.
You're welcome for that word. You can use that in the future now.
Thanks. That's Like the most unfair word
All right,
ever.
vocabulary lesson over.
I mean, the thing with
Good work.
the thing with words is that you want to use words that other people understand, because otherwise it's pointless. So if you
Is that a
use
dig?
this word in the future, nobody's gonna understand what you mean.
Are you
So
throwing
it's like,
shade?
yeah, it's like pointless.
Yeah, basically Radu's saying, can we use words
wow.
that he understands?
Yeah, please, guys, dump it down for me a bit.
Small?
I'm sorry. I'll try to avoid that in the future.
Wait, didn't Neirea just trade his free health minion? Wait, he doesn't. Never mind. He doesn't go for Defile. Oh, he goes for Defile. I'm confused.
This is great play-by-play, Radu. I love it. He traded the 3 times with me. He's going to go for the Defile. No, he's not going to go for the Defile. He goes for the Defile. Oh, my God, there's the Defile. It's
No,
like-
that was bad. That was bad. Look.
That was pretty bad. That was bad.
Like, he traded his last Void Walker. It was his last free health minion. That's what I was confused, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, Neirea probably saw something that I didn't. And then you saw he was looking at us. He was like, I messed it up.
He was findangled. Finangled, that's
you
it.
can do it.
I was close.
No, but seriously, I was confused, and then I thought that he had a reasoning, and then he didn't. You know, like, casters a lot of times assume, like, the player is
You
in
know
full
everything.
control,
Yeah.
have, like, world knowledge, and, like, always make perfect plays, never dare to challenge them. But players make a lot of mistakes.
Agreed.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Players
It's
suck.
very rarely... No, but seriously, it's very rarely when a series is played perfectly. Like, if a series is played perfectly, it's probably like a 3-0 fast series. And
Yeah.
then it's probably played it's probably played badly from the side that loses.
Sure.
Like a series played perfectly from both sides. I don't remember one.
It's pretty rare.
I think a lot of casters are getting used to being shouted at by pros for calling misplays. though. And, you know, apparently we're not allowed to call misplays, so, you know, it all starts to add together.
The thing with calling out misplays is that sometimes you might get one wrong, and like it might
Oh,
Oh,
actually be the
I
wrong
accepted
play.
that. I
That's like
accepted that a
caster
long time
misplay.
ago. I'm more saying, like, for me, calling out misplays, sometimes I get it right. It's more the other way around. Like, one day I'll be like, that was a misplay. I'll be like, you know what? It was. And I'll be like, yes.
It's just the caster.
5 years later.
It's the caster version of a misplay to call out a misplay that isn't a misplay.
Yeah.
Is it a Finangle?
Okay, I thought that one was clear.
Okay.
I'm just going to make up words too.
I don't even remember what that word meant. I just like used it.
Exactly. That's the point. The word is for...
Is that a finangle?
I just
Oh my
used it
God.
randomly without
It's a
any
paradox.
context.
Oh my god. Gonna be made fun of for that forever, aren't I?
Yeah, Neirea's going for the Fadoodle Woozle play. Because that's the word you use when you don't know what play
Stop.
it's going to make.
Stop.
So, Nicolina, top-notch casting. I love it.
Okay, all right. Just because I can teach you a new word doesn't mean you gotta be salty.
I just
about
taught you a new one. Fadoodle Woozle.
it. Doozle. All right.
What?
Okay, Raven.
This is a great defile board if Neirea wants to clear his own board.
Yes, the 2-2.
This is probably like the best
2-2.
utilization for the 2-2, just getting it out of your hand so you can use the Elise pack.
That's true.
Wow.
5 mana, make room.
Yeah. Get out of here. I pay you to get out of my
Yeah,
hand.
5 mana, may as well discard a
Okay.
card.
I overpay you 4 mana to get out of my hand.
This is a hilarious cast right now.
Yeah.
It's like Lackey's just had
Oh,
too much juice and he's just asked to leave.
See, God, this is just gonna get rough because those Jades are never gonna stop. And Neirea only has a finite, you know that one?
Yeah.
Amount of clear
Wow.
hand.
You can use limited for people like me that have limited vocabulary, but I understand the word finite. Thank you very much. He can go for Siphon Soul and then go for the 1 mana spell and then play Angoro to get maximum value. He basically needs to play 2 cards before Angoro pack if he wants the full value. No more cards left in the deck, so he cannot
Yeah.
overdraw anything anyways.
Yeah. Maybe he gets second Elise on Goro pack.
Yeah, but that's you can do it next time anyways. So basically, you want to use Hero Power, you want to use Angoro pack. How do you use the remaining 6 mana to play 2 cards? That's what he's going to think about, probably. If he wants all the cards from the Elise pack, maybe he figures out a better play that he can do at the expense of 1 card from the Elise pack, and that's also fine.
Huh.
Good contribution.
I'm building
We're all
up to it.
ribbing on each other
I'm
now.
building up
We
to
need to
it.
concentrate on
Well,
this.
was it ever not more worthwhile to trade the Lackey in there and keep the taunt? It's only a 1-1, but how does HotMEOWTH kill the
Yeah.
1-1 taunt?
Yeah,
I
you're
like
right.
that. I agree.
Yeah, don't sound so surprised, guys. Caster
Yeah.
gets it right sometimes. Misplay.
Calm down.
Raven is on fire, ladies
Yeah,
and
he is.
gentlemen.
He is.
Going in.
Raven is about to go in and kick Neirea out and continue playing this game instead of him.
And just throw the lead away. Probably. been a 1-1 taunt, standing defiantly against these two gigantic Jades.
It made all the difference.
I mean, if it's blocking 13 Demahe, then it's definitely making a difference.
Demahe. What
Yeah.
is that?
I like it. I love it.
Just Star Creeper pack, right?
Yeah.
You don't want a Nether yet, I think.
Yeah.
You can afford one more turn, right?
Yeah, just take 15. It's fine.
Those are all Jades, aren't they?
I don't know. I didn't remember.
I think so.
I think they're all
I'd
Jade.
have to guess that they are, yeah.
I really think casters would benefit from using deck trackers.
I was thinking about that too. Like, why don't...
Like, while you're casting and trying to be funny and trying to Google words that you don't know about.
Trying to be funny in Google Words. I accomplished both of those.
You can naturally, Raven.
Thanks, Trevor. I love you too.
Yeah, deck tracker would definitely be useful.
Oh, do you even want to play it? How many cards remaining? 3.
3.
Ooh, he doesn't.
Wow. That's actually
That was like the worst draw ever, right?
the infestation?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's good.
Wait,
he draws the idol.
No,
But then he has to
he-
wait 2 turns to play it. So he needed to draw the idol
like,
now.
it's
and
useless
then next
now,
turn draw
and then
it
next turn you
back.
have to cycle the idol
Yeah,
and you have
then
nothing.
another
And then
turn.
another turn when you have to play this, like
Wait.
the most useless and expensive
I was going
card
to
ever.
say, if he didn't play it that turn, is he just never going to play it?
No, he'll shuffle it back and then play it.
But
and
that's
then-
another turn, then he draws one more.
Yeah, like does he have that much?
I think he just had to just play it and commit.
Yeah.
He gets a 5/5, and he draws the idols, which means he can go shuffle, shuffle, play
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
Depends
and then
on
he
how
can
much-
play one per turn.
Exactly.
It depends on how much pressure Neirea puts on here. But
Definite-
this is the pressure.
Definitely giving the war like 3 turns is too much in my opinion.
But he's got to be like, he doesn't have like very much left. So it's basically all dependent on what he
The
takes
hero
out of
power
the
is pretty
pack.
good, though.
But like, do you think he can like now shuffle, do
The
nothing?
druid hero power negates it.
Only if you armor up. What if he wants
Well,
to go
yeah.
for the smoke to the face?
I mean, he would shuffle the idol back, armor up. He's just gonna summon it either way and just.
Actually, okay, look at this. He can play the idol, play another idol, and then shuffle the last idol and then UI afterwards.
Yeah.
But that's still just worse than UIing instantly because you lose that turn where you didn't UI. So it was still just better to UI.
Yeah.
You take some fatigue, but it was better, I think.
And you've got to say there's no real way to kill the 5/5 for the Warlock, right?
Yeah. so-
On average, because obviously there's the Elise pack, we can see the 7/7 would have killed the 5/5.
Yeah.
But on average, you've got to say there isn't a good
Wow.
way. Now Nesting Rock comes
This
down.
is.
Oh, wait,
It's getting
Oh.
interesting.
huh.
This is over, right?
Wait, was it?
Like, there's nothing that he can do now.
Oh, no, yeah, that's good. That's
I
good.
mean,
You have to
I
play
was
the-
wondering whether he played Spirit Echo just to get more cycle taunts. But
No,
he-
it's just
he
over
Played,
next
yeah, he
turn.
played all these banners.
yeah.
Hellfire GG.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
With UI,
Woo!
if he would have played UI, I think he
I-
could have won this.
I
Or at least, like,
I think so too.
have a
now.
chance.
Yeah, you guys are right.
Like, you take 2 fatigue damage, but then you never take fatigue damage again because you cycle the Jade Idols. And
That's
you
it,
can
the-
play 2
Like
or 1,
three-
as Raven said.
And
There were 3 and weren't there even 3? There were 3 Jade Idol in the deck still.
Yeah.
yeah, there was 3, so you
So,
shuffle
boom,
1,
boom.
play 2, right?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
play 2.
And
So
it-
again,
this is
Raven called the correct play. Misplay.
Nice try.
just on a roll. I mean,
Yeah. You should really just go and play.
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
I did.
You
Didn't
played.
work. Okay, I
Why are
should
we
really
not-
play real decks.
Why are we not casting you right now?
I mean, that's a fair point. They should just slot me into the finals no matter
Yeah.
what. It's like, oh, no, Raven qualified somehow.
Actually, like, the prize should not be the trophy and the money. It should be just challenging Raven to a best of 5. The champion.
Well,
the champion probably deserves to play against
getting
you, right?
beat by
Yeah.
Raven in a best of 5 is the prize.
Yeah, that would be, like, great prize.
I mean, Casey said he was going to quit Hearthstone if I beat him in our match, so I'm kind
Did
of...
you really?
That's why I really lost, guys. I'm just putting it out there. Yeah, he 100% was like, I'm going to delete Twitter, get train home, delete his account.
Feels bad.
So I naturally lane win. I'm sticking with that story.
Sounds good.
Very nice of you, Raven.
I just said
yeah.
sounds bad and then sounds.
Saved somebody's career.
I'm a nice guy, Radu, you know this.
You're very nice.
So what is the play now? I guess just play out your thickest minions and go face.
You definitely Spirit Echo, right?
I don't know, you could Lord of the Arena. You could do whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter.
It's
too
just
much,
because...
honestly.
Yeah. It's just to just get a cheap taunt back, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna get... I don't know. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Ah, no. I do think the UI was really good last time.
It's Dark Pacts to gain 1 health
I don't
and
know.
replay the Zarya.
Whatever, sure.
It was good.
Sure.
That's some BM.
So UI is going to, just kill him.
Gonna overdraw him, yeah.
Going out in style.
Oh, yeah. Glad we got comfortable for that one. Neirea taking the win. 3-1 now.
That was impressive. I really, really thought that the Jade Druid had a significant advantage there.
No, like, we tested the matchup, as I said.
Yeah.
It was so good that we didn't even think that we need to play Skulking Geist in the deck. Like, Skulking Geist was adding a bit, obviously, as you said, you just insta-win in these positions. But you beat them anyways because it's very hard for the Dre to keep all the resources to put themselves in a spot where they can play more than one Jade per turn. We saw HotMEOWTH had an option there. If he would have UI'd, as we talked about, maybe he had like a better chance. It's a very tough matchup, though. It's very, very hard from both sides. And it looks very easy. It looks like, oh, yeah, you insta-win. But like the Void Lords, the Nzov, the Gul'dan, it's just like too much pressure.
It's also just, it's the time thing, right? Because as you said, you always end in a spot, unless you smoke them down due to the Warlock having an absurdly bad draw.
Yeah.
But you always get in a spot where you're like, okay, I draw one Jade per turn. Let's go. And then it's just too much time that the Warlock gains. The hero power is so good. The double refill from Gul'dan, then Na'Zoth. It's actually kind of insane. But moving on to the, what could be the last game of this series. HotMEOWTH now on the Mage. And Neirea, of course, on the Warlock again. HotMEOWTH now needs to reverse sweep with this Mage to take the series and move on.
It's going to be really tough to do that.
It can happen. It's a very powerful deck. He needs AutoNet, though, in this matchup, I think.
That's for sure. So he really is going to have to apply pressure very fast.
It's just you. I think you need all the burn in your deck to kill the Warlock, right?
And you need it like in quick succession. You
Yes,
can't,
yeah,
like,
you can't like
burns him a bit, wait a few turns to draw the rest, because he's going to heal with the Dark Pact, Spellstone, Mistress, a lot of different healing options.
Any other secret would have been better than Counterspell there.
Yeah.
I'm actually not even sure of what secret package HotMEOWTH is running, whether he's running the ice blocks or not.
I don't think he is. I think he has very similar list to Dr. J.
Okay. Yeah, you'll probably know more than me, actually.
Yeah, like, I think Orange is the only one running the ice blocks.
Okay.
And it's working really well for him.
Seems good. Seems good. He debated me yesterday. Thought he only ran one. The second one really threw me off. It's quite embarrassing. Sometimes casters are wrong.
Occasionally.
Now and again. So there's the options here. Rin, Homunculus, and the Faceless Shambler.
Okay. Would you guys have taken the Shambler?
Rin looks like the best because it doesn't require any setup. Oh, by the way, there's the Ooze being drawn. So now the weapon is only draw 3 cards.
6 mana, draw 3.
Yeah,
It's actually like
3 cards.
it's like 4 mana draw 3 because your opponent uses the Ooze, which is 2 mana. Depends like how you look at it. You pay 6 and he plays 2.
Yeah.
It's kind of, it hurts both. It's still a good card. 4 mana draw 3. It's good. Better than AI.
That's true.
And they need to have the Ooze on the exact turn.
Is it better than AI?
Yes, because they can just not have the Ooze. But
Oh, yeah, sure. I'm just saying it's like the one turn of the effect.
It's also like a legendary, so you can only play 1. You can play 2 AI. So if you want to go more in depth,
Well, that's more
This
meaning
is
like
very next level.
a card has to do more
getting
the
very
more
in-depth.
expensive it is, right?
yeah,
That's all I was meaning.
yeah, but like 3 for 2 is worse than 4 for 3. I mean, you only pay 1 more mana for 1 more card. The card is usually 1.5 mana.
You know what? Portal into Portal is going to be pretty good in the turns.
Nicolas like,
Oh yeah, the portals.
talk about the game.
yeah,
Well, let's just talk about some Hearthstone. The actual game that's being played in front of us, as opposed to this theoretical, is 3 better than 4 conversation.
And a
Some
math.
quick maths.
Oh, EU math. Never mind.
Yeah. So used to just self-burning on
Yeah,
any day. It's like, any
it wasn't
maths
me,
are-
though. It was
Wait,
you guys.
I'm trying to shift the blame around here.
All right. So let's see what he's going to burn.
Luneth. Oh, close.
close.
Dicaster.
Oh, that's a combo.
Wow, he saw it.
Saw the
And
Matrix.
we didn't. Wait, did he have that? He didn't have the Void Lord in hand when he chose the Shambler, though, right?
Did he have the lucky hand?
Did he?
I don't know.
I think so.
Yeah. So
think-
that's a good reason.
Yes.
We suck. Neirea's back to being the best.
Indeed.
I'm not going to replace Neirea now.
Indeed, but he did get a poisonous here. Look at that Venomancer.
Yeah, it's a new card, like 5 mana, 2/5. I think it's blank.
Is
Let me check.
Venomancer?
No, that's not the new
Yeah,
one.
that's an
Venomancer.
old one. That's
the last expansion.
Yeah.
Is it last expansion?
Keep up. The
Who
1/5 is the new one.
yeah, it's the same thing but slightly worse.
Oh,
The
okay.
new one.
Or is it better? 'Cause it's got taunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
now, how
not.
much is
Shoot,
one attack word versus
No,
ton?
the ton is actually better, maybe. Right?
NA logic.
I don't know.
Anyway,
Is Town
anyway,
better
it's
than
not
one
relevant
attack?
now because this is the one on the board. So, okay, Counterspell is gonna go off there, and he's gonna be able to clear the way for Siphon Soul on the poison. So
And we did
Worked
see
out
what
fine.
HotMEOWTH's general plan was. That the Violence Portal went face.
Yeah.
The next Violence Portal is probably
Exactly.
going face.
And
There's,
I like the trading the Void Lord there. I keep saying want to say Void Walker or Void Lord, but this one's Void Lord.
Void Lord,
Because-
Adult Man.
Yeah, he would
That's the name of the card.
Yeah,
He
he's a
would-
lord. The other one is just a
Yes,
walker, a
I-
peasant.
Okay, I'll think of it that
But
way.
the Adult Man is
It's a
important.
good point. But he trades it in because he wants to get closer to the 1/3s, and there's no benefit in trading the 3/9s that has no death rattle.
Wait, why is he damaging his ooze? Oh, he's not about to defile, right? Okay, he's not. Never mind.
Okay, then he just trades that anyways.
Good talk.
Okay, yeah.
There's still now Violence, Fireball, Frostball, and this Glyph could actually make or break the game here.
Yeah, I think HotMEOWTH can piece up enough damage. If you
Sorry,
go
come what?
piece up.
Oh,
P-I-E-C-E.
good job, Raddy.
Sorry. Yeah,
Pyro.
quite a bit.
That was a big deal.
Yeah. Like, I don't think Neirea can survive until Gul'dan. Obviously, seeing both hands is quite easy to make the quick maps.
It is, definitely
He
is.
needs to tap for
Is he going to? Probably not, right?
Spellstone? Maybe
Nah.
we
I think
can't.
he's out of range of Fireball ping. He's out
Yeah,
of range
yeah,
of
so
Firelands.
He
So.
probably thinks he's fine.
yeah. I mean, you don't play around the Pyroblast
Wow.
out of the Glyph.
Yeah. Wow, didn't the last series go 4-1 also? So
No, last series was
4-0.
4-0.
4-0.
But other series were 4-3 both.
Yeah.
Okay.
But last series, Mage went 4-0. So
Wow.
Maybe same again.
we'll see.
We will.
Neirea seems to be devastated after that loss.
Devastated might be a strong word. Upset.
Upset.
Not happy.
Slightly not... I don't know how to say.
Fandangled.
I'm not...
Whatever that word was. Fadoozled.
Uh,
It seems a little bit fadoozled. That's that.
okay.
I can't quite
sure.
place his emotions, so it will be fadoozled. He's going to go for the Druid now against HotMEOWTH. What do you... Okay, we need to decide here, because I've heard it called a million different things. What are we calling the mage? Burn Mage, Aggro Mage, Aluneth Mage.
I like Burn Mage.
Well, Vicious Syndicate thinks Burn Mage is the medievalist with
I think
the ice blocks and
Maybe
the
too many
barriers.
minions in this to be Burn Mage, I guess.
I think we should call it Alunet Mage.
I
It's
agree.
the card that single-handedly made the deck be viable again.
You don't think you can play it without it at all?
I mean, nobody played last expansion.
You just won a game and didn't play Alneth, right?
Yeah, they only gained Alunet, right?
I mean, it's in the deck.
Yeah, but he didn't need it to win. He burned his face to win.
Let's call it Mage. You definitely need the
Call it
Mage to
Mage.
win a game.
Mage,
He
Mage.
didn't need it.
Okay, there's Mole Man. Also known as Hands. I'm teaching you all the names of the cards, by the way.
Thank you. So you guys think that the Druid or the Mage is favored here?
Druid for sure. Because they have no answer for leaving mana. But at the same time, they can play Counterspell right on the leaving mana turn.
Yeah.
Aggro Druid is also really good at getting a board and contesting the ugly pressure from the Mage. But they have no heal. So if the Mage somehow can deal some damage early game, and then just go full burn, they can also win that way. So it's pretty close. I would say it's like 53% for Druid and 47 for Mage. And don't ask me how I came up with 53. It's
I'm
just
not going to
like-
ask because I know you've just picked an arbitrary number.
No,
It's like-
Very
I think
well
it's
calculated.
approximately 53.45%.
No, the way I did it is like, I think it's like slightly for Druid, so it's more than 50. I don't think it's 55. And then I don't think it's 54. It's somewhere around 50.
This argument is terrible.
52 and 53.
Okay.
I'm just guesstimating.
So you didn't think it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way up
Then
to
it must be
52%.
three.
So it's like, well, it was 53%.
Three's
of
the
course.
only one left.
Obviously.
I mean, it's like a method of calculation when you start in the middle, and then it's just like middle of the middle. So like basically, I start at 50, I say it's a bit more than 50. Then I say it's a bit less than 55, and I just guesstimated it around 53. 50
Matter of calculation, it's a bit more than 50, so it's 53. Because it's a bit more than, a bit less than 55. I love it, Radu. You should be a maths teacher. agree.
So HotMEOWTH didn't try to save the counter spell for the living mana turn, and it went off on the Mark of the Lotus right there. So if Neirea were to pick up living mana right now, it's gonna happen.
I think he did it because his hand didn't really allow him to afford to wait that much. He had to get instant value. Like Fireball, Firelands, really good cards if you want to end the game, but not so good in the short run. It's funny how both decks ran out of cards in hand.
Yeah.
On turn 3 and 4.
Yes.
Right, but the Druid has like no way to regain more cards, right?
They have like one card draw.
Yeah.
The 2-mana Mark of
Yasharaj.
Oh yeah, the Mark of the yeah.
Mark
That.
Mark of the Yasharaj, as Raven clearly pointed out
Yes,
5
yes.
seconds ago.
Not Yasaj, as a lot of people.
I usually say Yasharj.
I do too.
It's incorrect.
Yasharaj.
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 They all have like weird pronunciations. Like I know it's supposed to say Zof. Like you have to be angry when you say it. Zof.
I don't think you have to do that. You could just say Nazoth. Like, I don't sound angry.
I hate when people say Enzoth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't ever talk to Orange about that card then. He loves the
He
Enzoth.
says Enzoth.
Radu's staying quiet because he's called it Enzoth before.
Nah, I usually say Zof.
It's like it sounds
Same as
dog
Ktun.
barking.
You don't say Situn. You say Ktun.
I don't know why you have to add aggression. Cthulhu. It's just the least aggressive thing I've said today.
Okay.
Cthulhu.
Cthulhu. Cthulhu.
It doesn't sound as intimidating though.
You want to make them think they're safe and then Cthulhu them in the face.
Take them by surprise.
By the way, if you think about it, don't you guys think it's funny that Ktun started by being the only old god that was seeing play, and now he's the only one that doesn't see play?
It is funny.
It's true. Yogg kind
Poor
of. Isn't it?
Cthulhu.
Is Yogg an old god?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yogg's are wrong. Hope's End.
Nah, I see some people playing Yogg.
Maybe at the ranks you play at, Nick.
They always get me with it.
Oh, Violence is gonna be really good against that.
Yeah.
So basically, Druid is now in draw living mana or lose game plan.
Yeah.
And Mage is just in, I hope my opponent doesn't draw living mana, and I win game plan.
It's like a top deck war.
Yeah.
Except Violence
That's-
Paul is
that's
a
it.
hell of a card.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of people are not playing it because they consider it too greedy in a deck that plays Alunet, but I think it's a good secondary option for the games where you don't have Alunet, but you still have the early game curve and you want a good follow-up.
What did they swap then? What are they playing instead?
Orange plays Pyroblast, but he's not even sure if that's the optimal card.
It
We were
took me by
talking-
surprise with that Pyroblast in our game.
Yeah. Because you can only play Pyroblast because he's playing Ice Block, right? As well.
Yeah.
So. Interesting.
Wait, you could have found out that Orange plays Pyroblast, by the way, before the tournament. He posted a photo on Twitter where he said he practices for SeatStory, but he's not going to reveal the deck just yet. But
Oh, yeah, but
if you
the
look at the
screenshot,
screenshot, you see like Pyroblast in his hand and Alunet, and you're like, okay, yeah, thank you for revealing like all your deck. And
What
even
if it was
Ice
a
Block.
bait?
But yeah, how much? I'm never sure. Like if those kind of things are a trick. Like you can be like, oh, look at their last stream, they were playing this, but are they trying to mislead you? Are
Most
they
people,
figuring
most
something out?
Hearthstone players, from my experience, do not do that.
Really?
They just like
I'm-
don't care. You know?
I haven't gauged that yet. I guess.
Yeah. So basically, if you can make an extensive read, it's probably not a bluff. Nobody thinks two levels ahead.
Interesting, because I kind of expected more of that. I guess.
Did you think like all the Hearthstone pro players are like geniuses that like?
No, but
think
I guess
just casually calling
I
out.
come from a different game where that actually is really common. Like I come from Pokemon TCG, and players will like literally bring a deck they're not playing to the tournament and be like playing practice games with it before, so that they mislead people.
Wow.
And it's a lot of mind games with deck choice.
Nobody
So
would
I'm
do
not
that in
gonna lie,
Hearthstone.
I did expect that.
I
Coming.
do remember Firebat told me a story. He had a tournament in China. This was a few years ago. And they were practicing, like just a run of PCs, and they were all sat practicing. And tons of the Chinese players and the friends were like basically scouting for them,
Yeah.
And then so Firebat was just jamming like something random on ladder.
Yeah.
Like he had his set, he built on a separate account the same classes, named them the same, but they were the completely different decks. And then I think he ended up either placing really high or winning it. And he was
Yeah.
like, yep, they got baited.
Scouting is actually like a big deal in other card games for sure.
In Hearthstone, it's harder because there are so many players playing it,
Yeah.
and it's very hard to scout people.
But in this small of a tournament, it would be pretty easy, I guess.
Well,
But
over
then
the-
also most of the tournaments are online, so obviously you can't scout people if
Yeah.
you're playing online.
Over the past turn or so, while we've just been casually talking about other card games.
We're still continuing the top deck war here.
Yeah. Although
much.
Neirea's actually managed to just get hold of the board a little bit even after the Firelands, because the Firelands only hitting a 3-3 was actually kind of huge.
Yeah. 3-3 is definitely not pretty good for a 5-drop.
Yep.
That's the thing with like so many Battlecry minions being in the game. It's kind of like you're never sure what you're gonna get.
And it's good because it's balanced, right? If all the 5-drops were just good, it'd be like, well, this card's insane.
I mean, it would be like Blaze Caller. Like Blaze Caller is like 6/6 body and does 5 damage, but you have an extra requirement. So for the consistency, you have to play elementals in your deck, which you don't really want to do in most decks. Or you do, but you don't play enough to consistently get the Blaze Caller out.
Neirea, a bit of an awkward spot now. If he plays the Scalebane, he knows it's going to be the runes. So Scalebane is like 5 mana, take a damage, proc a secret, and probably doesn't want to take any damage. He doesn't have to until he can. I don't know actually. Does that Scalebane ever get played?
Did HotMEOWTH already play one of the explosive secrets? Because if he didn't, you could also just not play anything, and in case he draws a second copy of the secret, it's useless.
That's true.
He's gonna face tank this 4-3.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
It's risky.
Yeah.
He has to make something work,
It is
though, right?
risky.
He probably calculated it a couple turns ahead, and he wants to just go for the race.
Yeah, he has to win at
What?
some point.
Feels like it's like 53% chance that he wins if he does this play. It's a bit more than 50, but a bit less than 55.
Okay. HotMEOWTH is also committing.
So you have to do as a pro Hearthstone player, just commit.
I mean, he didn't commit yet, but what was the correct play? Like, if you put him at 4, he can go to 5, so your ping plus Frostbolt is not enough.
But he's got... Oh, hang on. Has he played 2 Firelands?
Yeah. No, he played 1?
Yeah, 1.
1.
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't play Pyroblast in his deck.
He played 2 last game.
Yeah. Good job.
And now Neirea has 8 and 8 again next turn. So that puts HotMEOWTH on a 1-turn clock to find his card.
Yeah, I think you just passed this turn for Neirea. Hero power, of course, but... He can't afford to take 1 damage because then Frostbolt ping gets him.
Yeah.
No, because he can hero... Oh, he cannot hero power. Never mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, but he can't play the Scalebane because he could just take that 1 damage back.
Yeah. Because the runes.
Yeah.
I think the way it panned out, HotMEOWTH would lose this either way. Like, if he'd fireball the minion, Neirea would just take the 1 extra damage because he'll be at a higher health total where he could afford that. So he'll still end up winning in like